Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast live from Studio A in our West Loop studios. I'm Jay Zawaski with Mario Tirabassi. Greg Boysen will join us shortly from the United Center. Apologies for my voice. I am fighting off a cold,
you should
but who
apologize.
Cares?
You should apologize. You sound terrible, Jay.
Thank you. Well, that's normal, but now the voice equals the takes, so that's not good.
You could just say you lost your voice cheering for this win.
Sure, I could say that, but that's not true. Anyway, smash that like button for us. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page as well. Same deal on your favorite podcast app. Make sure you're following, subscribed, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Hawks win 4-3 in overtime. Kevin Korchinski with the game-winning goal. Jason Dickinson with the hat trick to get the Hawks to overtime.
What a game.
And we usually recap the scoring, but let's just skip that for today and let's get right into it.
It's all Jason Dickinson.
Yeah, let's in our 4-star nominees, let's throw that out there real quick. We've got Ryan Donato, had a really solid game, especially early on. Was one of the early Hawks that was really engaged in this game. 4 shots on goal, 3 hits, 12:42 of ice time. Joey Anderson, whoa, +3, 1 assist. 5 shots on goal. Nope, looking at the wrong guy. See? I'm sick. All right. 1 assist, +3, 13:41 of ice time. Had a shot attempt and a hit. And then your other nominee was, remind me.
Ryan Donato.
Right.
You had
Reese Johnson.
Reese Johnson, yes,
had,
thank you.
Yeah.
Just out there doing everything correctly that you want your fourth liners to do. Back checking, finishing checks, stirring it up, defending your players. Reese Johnson's not a guy who is very often going to dent and put any marks on the score sheet.
Not often.
But he is out there giving everything he has every game. And this is a team that needed that today after the loss against Columbus that was absolutely embarrassing and horrendous.
Yep.
You were wondering, this game had the feel coming into it with the Columbus loss, everything happening with Cory Perry, which we're going to get to, Taylor Hall being out for the year. The Hawks had every excuse to lose this game 8-0.
Oh, yeah. This had all, and the way they started the game early on, I mean, it had all the makings of like a very rough afternoon. And credit to the team. They woke up. That first period start was pretty rough, but they were able to recover from it. And what was interesting was we talk about how the importance of starting periods and starting games and everything. I mean, the Leafs right out of the gate in the first 2 periods waxed the Blackhawks. But end of the first period, end of the first period, end of the second period, end of the third period, the Blackhawks were the team that was controlling play. They were the aggressors. Sure, in each situation they were chasing the game, but they were doing it with a purpose. And you saw the third line today with Dickinson and Foligno and Joey Anderson. They were doing everything with a purpose. Straight north and south hockey, forechecking with a purpose. You whenever you had chances to put the puck on net, you did it. Jason Dickinson, probably the best game he's ever had. First career hat trick.
He was great.
He was fantastic. And yeah, Joey Anderson shows up. Comes up from Rockford, playing his former team, so he had superpowers tonight. And he had a great game. He fit in right with Foligno and Dickinson, right in with that play style and mentality. And they did a great job. And then you get to the overtime period, and I mean, just a wild finish to the game. Probably, I would say this is the most entertaining game that they've had all year. Win or
That was
loss.
like a video game overtime.
Yeah,
it was just
back and forth.
It was just chaos the entire time. And oddly enough, I wrote for my Blackhawks beat this week, about 3-on-3 overtime, and what some players thought of it. So check that out if you're a diehard. It's good stuff, but man, it was exciting. It was fun, and it's again, I'm really pleased with the response. And even when it was 3-1, I said, even if they lose this game, it's not the same as the Columbus game because the effort was there. They were trying. Again, what made us so upset after the Columbus loss was it wasn't a matter of being out-talented. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little bit. You put Columbus on paper and say they're probably better top to bottom, a little bit deeper.
Right.
But that was a matter of effort. Mm-hmm. And we've seen them play games like they played today, and they beat Vegas, and they beat Pittsburgh, and they beat these good teams, and you see what they're capable of, which makes it so annoying when they have a game like they did against Columbus. I was so pleased with the effort in this one, and they put up a ton of fight, and the bottom six led. And Jason Dickinson, his game today is exactly what Luke Richardson has been preaching since the day he got this job. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean, and I think this game is a good example of that for Dickinson. You can still be skilled and make skillful plays while simplifying the game. Make the skilled plays in the context of the game. Too many times today we saw the second line trying to create something out of nothing when you're like, just all three of you go to the net. And the first line was doing it too. Go to the net. Mm-hmm. Just go. Stop overthinking it. You see, Jason Dickinson scores 2 of his goals on a toe drag, which is a skill move. Yeah. He saw Jake McCabe closing in on him with the puck, with the stick outreached, and he said, all right, I'm going to have to toe drag this to get it through. He did it, shot it through his legs, but it still is a simple concept that he's adding the skill to. And when you watch guys on Toronto, like Austin Matthews and William Nylander and Mitch Marner and all these skilled guys they have, they're going north and south. Mm-hmm. And there were a couple of times today where Matthews put on a spin move and made a great play, but guess which direction he's going? Towards the goalie. Yeah. They all play that way, and that's what the message has to be to these guys. You can be skilled and play a simple game. Yep. And when you've got both, that's what makes great players great.
When you do the small things and the simple things right, then you can expand your game to doing a little bit more of those, more fancier plays or making that extra pass. But you got to get the simple things down first. I think this was a game where the smart plays, the simple plays, they were the ones that were making the biggest impact. And I would say later in the game, the top 6 lines started to get that, but the bottom 6, the third line, the fourth line, they were the ones kind of getting the train going in the right direction. Obviously, Jason Dickinson was the conductor tonight, and what I loved was at the end, towards the end of the second period, when the Blackhawks got that sustained pressure going. I think it was the Dickinson, Anderson, Foligno line was on the ice, and they get that sustained pressure going. And instead of Luke Richardson throwing out, okay, here's Bedard, Kershev, Reichel, trying to maybe put your best skilled line out there while that pressure is building, he throws out Donato, Johnson, and Tkachuk, and saying, well, hey, these are the guys that are keeping things going today. Let's throw them out there. And they sustained a little bit more of that pressure. They kind of kept that going through the end of the second period there. So I loved that move because you're rewarding the guys that are going in the game rather than just making the decision to say, okay, well, let's put out our offensive line. It's making decisions within the game flow. And so I did like that move, and it's a good message too. You get rewarded for playing the way that the coach is trying to get you guys to play. And when you're doing that and you're having success, then individually as players, you're going to get rewarded with more responsibilities, more ice time. And then as a team, you likely get some good vibes going, some momentum going, and that leads to a comeback in a game that at one point you were down 3-1.
Well, and that's momentum's the right word, and I know that is an overused and kind of a lazy thing to say sometimes about sports, but when you're talking about during the course of a game, it is very much real. And those 2 back-to-back shifts you mentioned, that changed the game. The Hawks had the Leafs on their heels for probably 3 or 4 minutes extended there, I would say. Maybe there was maybe I think the Leafs might have gotten one chance like in between those 2 sustained shifts by the Hawks, but it works for a lot of reasons. And Troy Murray did a great job of breaking this down in the second intermission. Is it puts the Leafs on their heels. It gives you the confidence to know that you can take it to this team, and you've got the ability to do it. It wears them out. It energizes you. It allows you, as you keep possession of the puck, get the puck deep and change lines and have fresh legs out there instead of guys chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing. All of it. It all snowballs into this ball of momentum you're talking about, because as the Leafs get more and more tired, the Hawks gain more and more confidence and strength and the ability to change lines as they please. And those 2 shifts flipped the game. I don't think there's any doubt about it. It was just and I think they needed that. And I saw a quote here from Kevin Korchinski postgame. Let me pull it up here real quick. Sorry. He was asked if the Blackhawks had a discussion about bringing more energy. This is from Ben Pope. Korchinski says, quote, "Maybe not energy, but channeling our emotions in a positive way. We can't get down on ourselves. We've got to keep these positive vibes going."
Sure.
That's it. And we saw.
Yeah.
We joke about the Maple Leafs being fragile all the time. We were seeing it from the Hawks. As soon as something bad would happen, they would lose focus. They would get down on themselves. And when it was 3-1, I think we said, like, all right, we get to start the postgame show now, because that's how it had been.
Well, and it was the 2-1 goal and the 3-1 goal were just I think it was a 3-1 goal had kind of a fluky bounce to it. Might have been one of the 2. I don't know. But both goals were more kind of easy plays that the Blackhawks should have been able to defend better. And when you got Ryan Reeves scoring against you, you got problems. So I think that was the 3-1 goal, was the Reeves goal. And I think at that point it was just like, well, that's how it's going to go. The way this team had been playing, the way the last couple of days had gone, and then Ryan Reeves puts the Leafs up 3-1 in the second period. I mean, that at that point you were just like, well, that's just not going to be. It's just not going to be this. It's not this team's week, but they responded well, and you don't want to see those frustrations snowballing in negative ways. I mean, that's something that I think young players, especially like a Korchinski or Bedard, this is their first taste of NHL action, and they're so used to being. Reichel too, when he was here for a couple of games last season, and when he was in the AHL, like those are guys in those situations where things go right for them. They produce a lot of points, a lot of good things happen. So now you're in the NHL. It's an elevated arena to play in, and things aren't going well all the time. You're not producing points all the time like you're used to. So it's definitely something that you kind of have to learn the ropes of the pro game, that not every game is going to be great. Not every shift is going to be shining and perfect.
Right.
So you definitely have to be able to be okay with that and make sure the next shift or the next game, next period is better than the last.
I know we probably have a lot of super chats lined up to go, and I know Greg, just based on our experience, is probably pretty close to joining us. So why don't we knock out a couple of super chats before we take our first break here? Got a $5.55 super chat
nice.
from McLovin. Says Chicago runs on
Dickinson.
Korchinski with the OT winner. Bottom 6 sparking all the animosity and drive and a win. We needed this after the last game.
I loved that this game got chippy and that the Blackhawks didn't back away from it.
Exactly.
I loved that.
They had the Leafs frustrated.
Yeah.
And off their game. And that's what we saw from this team all year last year was you might beat us, but we're going to piss you off for 60 minutes plus if it takes it. And you're going to really take some dumbass penalties because we're going to piss you off. Alton Z with a $2 super chat says Black Friday dub. Let's go.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Alton, as always. Evil Bills with a $20 super chat.
Love it.
Jason Dickinson signed my 5-year-old's jersey at a hotel in Columbus before the game, and we said it would be for good luck. Well, 4 goals since then.
How about that?
Go JD. That is 4 goals in 4 consecutive periods by Jason Dickinson.
I mean, he's on pace for a career year in goal scoring.
Yes, he is. Another 20 from Richard Budnick. Says, I need to apologize. I'm one of those guys who has the pleasure of living in Columbus, and I convinced my family to go to that game. We're 1-6 when I'm in attendance.
Oh, no.
The lone W coming from Jalmerson with less than a second left.
Oh, yeah.
That's all right. Just you can't go anymore. That's all, Richard. That's fine. Windy City Hockey with $2 says, Big Dicky Hattie today and Korch OT game-winning goal. What a game.
It's a wonderful game.
Teferi Torre, hope I said that right. Physicality is what won this game, in my opinion. That and effort led to scoring chances and the win.
Yep.
Look, I know that sounds so simple.
Right.
And
Try hard and be physical.
Right. But there's a reason that Luke Richardson has been preaching that since day one.
Yeah.
It's not go fight. It's not go take dirty hits.
No.
But finish your checks. Win battles in corners. The little things that add up over the course of a game make the difference in wins and losses.
Yeah, that little extra effort on those plays can make a big difference. Look at the Dickinson hat trick goal to start the third period. Nick Foligno is in there causing a turnover behind the Leafs net. Puck comes out to Jason Dickinson with a lot of space, and he buries it. Like that's what we talk about when you're saying play with a purpose. That's 15 seconds into the opening period. Like that is an easy time to not be ready to get going right from the jump, is those first few moments of a period. So to see Foligno get in there and forecheck hard and have that extra effort on that play, it made a huge difference, tied the game and built off the momentum that the Blackhawks had carrying out of the second period into the third. So that's what makes that difference.
Yeah. Nick with a $5 super chat says, I think Reichel had a pretty good game. I don't know why everyone is bashing him. He shot a few times and made a beautiful pass to Kurashev, who lost it. I need to see a little more engagement from Reichel. There was a moment in the first period where, maybe it was the second, whatever it was, there was a puck along the boards, and Reichel had a straight path to it. And I saw him, instead of taking that straight line to the puck, he literally went and then turned to his right and went along the boards almost to intentionally arrive late. It was very strange. Mm-hmm. To me, it looked like a guy who was avoiding contact. I'm sure the coaches saw that too. I don't know. I'm not panicking on Lucas Reichel. He's 50 games into his career,
barely,
give or take.
Yeah.
50 games. He has been better recently, but there is too much, and I think just from that line in general, I love what Kurish has been doing, but Troy Murray said it during the intermission today, like, Bedard has to make better decisions too, and he's going to learn. They're all going to learn, but I need to see more from Reichel, because more often than not, when I see him with the puck, the result of the play ends with me rolling my eyes or frustrated.
I want to see him. I think today was game 52 for Reichel. I want to see him play. We've said it before. Simpler.
Yeah.
Play simpler so that when those simple things are going right, the little extra touches of flash can be added to the game. Don't go into something cold and try and be flashy. Try and be making the extra pass or trying to sauce a pass for a one-timer or anything like that when you're not getting those small things and those simple things down correctly. And I think that's something that all young players have to learn at the professional level. And I think we saw it last year. Like Reichel was making really good, subtle plays that made a big difference, and it was because the simple things were working out well for him last year, and it led to point production in 15 points in 23 games combined last year.
Yep.
Like I think that's the player he needs to get back to, and I think a way to do that is to simplify things. Don't try and be too flashy. I know he is more of a creative player, and when things are going well, he's making those plays. But you got to get to a good base level before you can, get to that extra level where those subtle plays start making those big differences.
No doubt. Any more super chats we got to get to? One more from Cricket. Thank you, Cricket. Says, I can't think of anything to say, so it'll just have to be Go Hawks. Also, Korchinski was my star of the game. Yes, I should have mentioned the actual stars of the game. I was too excited to get started. These wins are rare, so you got to get to them quick.
Yeah.
Arvid Soderblom was the third star of the game. He stopped 34 of 37 Maple Leaf shots, especially early in the game. The first couple shifts, there were times where the Leafs were just standing in the crease like whack,
Peppered.
whack, 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 like over and over again.
Yeah.
And he stood tall, stopped several breakaways in this game, including, he didn't stop it, but William Nylander hits all 3 posts in one shot.
Yeah, that's okay. He'll bury him when he's playing for the other team.
Yeah, exactly. Number 2 star, Kevin Korchinski, obviously with the game-winning goal. Obviously. And your number 1 star, Jason Dickinson.
Yeah.
Duh.
No question about it.
Yeah, quite obviously, it's Jason Dickinson. So,
I love seeing him and Foligno start the overtime too. Like again, that is being rewarded for being the guy that is listening to the messaging from the coaching staff and executing it. So, again, it's one of those little cookies that you get when you're playing the right way.
No doubt. All right, why don't we take our first break? I know you got to go somewhere very cool this week.
I did. Yeah, I got to go out to the Midtown Athletic Club out in Bannockburn. It's one of their 4 locations in the Chicagoland area. They got Bannockburn, Palatine, Willowbrook, and, of course, the Midtown Athletic Club and Hotel right in the middle of the city here in Bucktown and Lincoln Park. Had a wonderful experience out there. Talked with the GM of the gym, Mark. Had a really good conversation with him. Got the lay of the land. Talked with Dave out there as well. Great guys to get to know and show me the facilities. Tremendous facilities out there at the Midtown Athletic Club. Got a good cardio workout on one of their many stationary bikes. They got Peloton bikes. Everything there is state of the art. It's awesome. They got a 25-yard football field that you can do, when you see people CrossFit pushing the sleds and flipping tires and stuff, you can do all that.
Sounds right.
A ton of different, what was the term? Theaters that they have for their group fitness classes.
Oh, cool.
Really cool stuff. Got a great yoga studio, great spa, sauna, steam room, massages available. They got a hair salon and a nail salon there as well. They got a full restaurant. They got their pro shop is like a boutique. Like it has, all the fitness apparel that you need and, extra gifts for the person who is active in your life. I know it's holiday season, so if you're looking to get some of those gifts and you're checking out the Midtown Athletic Club, you can get all of that taken care of there. It's a really great facility. Highly recommended. They are our friends here at CHGO and friends of those who want to get to wherever they're going on their fitness journey or any kind of journey, physical health, mental health, and wellness. It's all important. They have great options for people who are single members or family members with kids. I got to see the daycare facility there as well. I was expecting just a room where kids just get to go and run around. It was more than that. It was fully staffed. They were playing Duck, Duck, Goose when I was there, which was adorable. So if you got, young kids that, you want to take to the gym with you, they can be entertained as well while you get your workout in. It's awesome. They just have so much stuff there. And one of the biggest things that Midtown is known for is their historic background in tennis. I think that was 16 tennis courts between their indoors and outdoors.
That's a lot.
It was a lot. So if you love tennis, Midtown is the place to go. Head over to midtown.com/CHGO to find out more about the Midtown Athletic Club location nearest to you to schedule your tour and to get yourself going, just like the Blackhawks.
And in the NBA, I'm told the game can change in an instant.
Sure.
But no matter how the action unfolds, DraftKings Sportsbook has your back. This week, new customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets. I'm assuming that's dollars. Just for betting $5 on basketball, win or lose, you get an instant dub.
Instant dub.
Instant dub.
Let's
$150 instantly in bonus bets just for betting $5 on basketball. That is a great deal. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code CHGO. Like we said, new customers can get $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code CHGO. The crown is yours. This is going to be tough with the cold. Here we go. I'll get a sip of water.
Deep breath.
Channel my Jason Dickinson energy.
Yes.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In West Virginia, visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. Must be 21 or older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
All right, let's go out to United Center and welcome our friend. There he is. He's very handsome as always. It's Greg Boysen. What's up, Greg?
We'll get that audio in just a second. Sorry, Greg.
Don't hear you. Huh?
We see he has his microphone.
Big mic energy.
Yeah. Hopefully it's plugged in. But yeah, until Greg is ready to join us, I did love. We'll talk with Greg about what Jason Dickinson had to say after his hat trick. But it sounds great, and it sounds like a lot of the things that we've been asking to see from the Blackhawks in the last couple of games, and I think that they either listened to us or Luke Richardson, who knows,
probably
and got the message. So Greg, how was it in the locker room after the thrilling overtime win?
Okay, can you hear me now? All right. Yes, the locker room was nice. It was good for a change. That was quite the finish we had there. It was obviously a good mood. Jason Dickinson was a lot of laughs. He was obviously very upbeat, but he also had some good stuff about, like, he said that effort and that win came from the inside first. You have to feel it inside and then channel that onto the ice. And that's what the team did. I don't know exactly what changed things today, but it was after that Dickinson second goal, all of a sudden the Blackhawks just took over. They had another extended shift, then the fourth line got an extended shift, and that trickled down to the Bedard line getting a second shift. And all of a sudden the Leafs were hanging on for dear life. And as we know, because it's what they do, the Maple Leafs get faced with adversity, they usually fold like they did today. I mean, could they have won that game in overtime? Yes. William Nylander does his best Victor Stahlberg impression and hits it off as many posts as he can find, even though he should have been called for tripping before that breakaway. But the refs had an interesting day today. But in the end, what a fun game. That overtime was so much fun to watch here in the arena. The fans were into it. And this is a locker room that needed a win and needed a game like today, especially after the way things went down in Columbus. If they play the way they played the last 28 minutes of this game, the rest of the season, they are going to be a very hard team to beat. But let's see them carry it over to St. Louis on Sunday.
Well, the current point pace needed to make the playoffs in the Western Conference is 82 points. Could the Blackhawks get to 82 points? My column.
Save it. Lock it up. Diehards only. It's just, Greg, this one was such an illustration of everything Luke has been preaching all season. And I said it to Mario when the show started. Keeping the game simple doesn't mean you can't use your skill. And the first two Jason Dickinson goals, he whipped out that toe drag and used it to score, but still did so going north and south and keeping the game simple. I hope that as this team sees those sort of things pay off for them, that they get the message and adjust and start playing that way, because that's what we saw last year. Most of the 82 games we saw, they were there, they were keeping it simple, they were doing the things they needed to do to stay with these teams that are better and deeper and more talented than them. And damn, if this game is not an example of what this team could do if they come out with energy and then use their skill when the opportunity arises instead of trying to force everything they've been doing lately has felt so forced. Oh my God, an extra 2 or 3 passes were weaving out of the zone or we saw it early in the game today. Taylor Radish had a 2-on-1 with Boris Kachuk.
Yeah.
And Taylor Radish spins to his backhand and throws the puck to no one. It's no. Fire the puck at the goalie, and maybe Boris Kachuk will hit him in the shin and go in.
Yeah, right.
At some point in this game, they got that message, and hopefully it carries over as the rest of the season goes on.
Yeah, I tweeted out in the third period, I said the top 6 of this team needs to sit there and take some notes on what the bottom 6 is doing. Because the bottom 6 is playing a simple, effective game. Get in on the forecheck, get puck, shoot puck, see what happens. That's pretty much how Jason Dickinson got his hat trick today. He had some help. Joey Anderson was tremendous today. I don't know how he didn't get credited with his second assist on that goal where he went in behind the net and got it. But he was great today, and he's a style of player they needed, a guy that isn't relying on blazing speed or a killer shot, a guy that just goes out there and works his ass off every time he's on the ice, and good things happen. More guys on this team need to follow that lead. You mentioned Radish had that he had another chance in overtime where he decided to pass to Seth Jones when he had a shot, and it wasn't the worst decision in the world because Jones had a wide open net, but the pass was on his back foot and he couldn't get a shot off. So there was a lot of that on the first line. The Bedard line was just they want to be fancy. They just want to get in there and Harlem Globetrot it around the zone. Just get in and shoot the damn puck. You're not in any position to try and score highlight reel goals every time you have the puck now. Just be simple. This was the last 28 minutes of this game was what Luke Richardson has been begging this team to do for the last 3 weeks.
Was there some post-game love for Arvid Soderblom, who now has 50% of his career wins against the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Yes, he owns the Toronto Maple Leafs. Whoever looks like they're going to be playing Toronto in the first round should give the Blackhawks a call. I'm can you just send Arvid to sit behind the net for the games, because apparently he just spooks the Maple Leafs. But yeah, there was a lot of Arvid love after the game. Jason Dickinson said he saw the stat sheet and was how is this guy 1-6? He's I know our record is what it is, but I figured he had a better record than that. So they were all, and Luke Richardson was happy too that the hard work paid off. He was good today. There really wasn't a goal that you could really pin on him. The 2 in the second period, Vlasic gets beat to the inside by Janrock and can't tie up a stick. It was an easy tap in. The Ryan Reeves goal was a goal you should never allow in any level of hockey to a guy like that, just wide open. I mean, it was a great pass by Jake McCabe, as we got a dance party going on behind me now, apparently. But yeah, a good game for Arvid. There was less of the uncontrolledness in the crease. There was less of the rebounds. There was less of him over skating side to side. He looked more confident. He looked more controlled and looked like the goalie we're used to seeing.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that it seemed like there was less all over the placeness in Soderblom's game today, which, I mean, this is a team that you can't get scrambly against because you're going to pay for it.
All right, who should we hear from first while the dance party starts behind you? I know you sent in Jason Dickinson, Luke Richardson. What should we go to first here?
Jason Dickinson was good. He was in high spirits, and then kind of revealed that he is my spirit animal and doesn't really like the Maple Leafs, despite being from the Toronto area.
Interesting. Let's go.
All right, let's fire it up. Here's Jason Dickinson post-game.
That was a blast. I felt like the energy was there, the emotions were in it, and everybody was having fun out there.
How does it flip like a switch like that late in the second period where all of a sudden, like you guys are life?
I think it comes down to getting physical and getting engaged and being invested emotionally. Obviously, that's what the result was, but to get the emotion, you have to turn it on inside first, and then it translates to the ice.
Did anyone say anything to kind of wrap things up? It's obviously been a tough couple of weeks. And
I don't think it came down to words. I think it came down to just looking at ourselves and saying, we're in this, like, let's go out and do it and just put our heart on our sleeve and show what we got.
First career hat trick out of that field?
It felt pretty amazing. I mean, the puck laid up nicely in the slot to finish it off, and lucky enough it went in.
How much did this group need this, just to get some positive feeling in here?
Yeah, absolutely. I've said emotion a couple times now, and I think that there's been a lot of emotions going around with a lot going on, and a positive win at home, hard fought, doing the right things, details, all of that leads into a really good feeling in this locker room to head forward.
Was there a point when you kind of realized you were feeling it today, or?
No, honestly, it was status quo for me. I just played my game. I just did what I did, and I think I shot more pucks tonight than I normally do, and they just happened to be a little bit more accurate than usual.
You only had 4 shots, so that's a good
Is
ratio.
that it? Pretty good ratio.
How do you think Joey fit on your line today? You guys look like you were working pretty well.
Yeah, I loved it. He came in and he brought energy. He forechecked hard. I mean, we talked before the game, and we said our line's pretty simple. It's going to be put pucks in and get to work, and we'll create from there. And he brings that to the table in spades, so he fit right in.
To get Arvid a win, is that nice for him? I know he hasn't had one in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I saw the stat sheet before. It said I think he's 1-6, and I couldn't believe that when I saw it. I mean, obviously our record is what it is, but I thought we should be playing a lot better for him because he's given us everything, and he's stood on his head a lot of nights, and we haven't been able to come up with something for him. So it's nice to get that tonight.
Jason, a weird geographic thing. I think it's you and Bristol and Radch are all from like the area between the GTA and Guelph.
We were all born in the same hometown, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah.
And then you played junior hockey as well.
I played in Guelph. Yep.
Yeah. So the Leafs were your team growing up?
They were the local team. Wasn't my team.
Do you have another hat trick before your pro career? Can you go back to
I had one in junior in Guelph. It was against the Steelheads. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you what game, but I remember it was against the Steelheads in Mississauga. It was a matinee game as well.
So you caught that hat, just came to you?
Yeah, I thought that one looked cool.
So wait a minute, we're going to get another one Sunday then. You're going to get another one Sunday?
I didn't promise that, but matinee seemed to be my day.
4 straight periods with a goal. You got to keep that. That's a streak.
That's a tough streak to keep going, but I'll keep shooting and maybe.
Boy, it's nice to hear some laughter coming out of that locker room. It's been a while, and I'll say, like, when we're at practice, they don't seem to be like all in the doldrums and down in the dumps, and it seems pretty loose, but it's been a while since they've won. And for them to get this result against this team with a huge crowd on a matinee day where everyone's excited to be there, I don't want to make too much out of one win, but this is it is exactly what this team needed. Exactly what they needed right now.
Yeah, for sure. But you have this kind of win, and if you come out and lay an egg on Sunday against the St. Louis Blues,
yeah, what's the point?
Yeah, then what's it for?
It was worthless. Not saying you got to come out and beat the Blues 7-0. That'd be great. We'd all love that. But play with this same energy, this same simple, just because St. Louis is a team you have to forecheck against. You have to play heavy against. You have to go to the dirty areas of the ice if you want any kind of success against them. So you definitely need to come out with that same energy if you want St. Louis. And it's a matinee game, so Jason Dickinson, pencil him in for another hat trick. I mean, apparently he does when the street lights come on, Jason Dickinson's not as good of a hockey player as he is during the daylight. So, but that's 4 straight periods with a goal for Jason Dickinson. I mean, when you're hot, and good for him.
By the way, the Blues lost 8-3 to the Predators today. So, unfortunately, the Meteor missed the arena, but at least the the Blues lost 8-3.
Lesser of two evils.
Yeah, exactly.
But hey, Predators are starting to look like a playoff team, eh?
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Why
not?
Always got to be right in the middle. Get that first round ticket gate, and then go home.
Hey, just make my prediction look better. I took some heat for that one, so get to the playoffs and get swept. I don't care.
There you go.
That's fine.
All right, since the dance party is still going on, we're gonna have you summarize here before you go, and then we'll let you go because I know it's probably difficult for you to hear us and vice versa. Anything you want to mention?
Just Joey Anderson, Cole Gutman in the lineup. Anderson was effective right away. Gutman's game got stronger as the game went on, and he was really good in the third period, but he had a little bit of that. I'm going to take up a shooting chance and pass, but it got better as the game went on. He almost scored on a spinorama shot in that third period. Just missed the far post. That would have been a highlight reel goal. But again, as I said, let's see this energy from the opening faceoff against St. Louis on Sunday, and build off of this. Because if you go out and you lay an egg and you play like you did against Nashville or Columbus, then today's game was a waste.
Before you go, we got good news for you. You're back on the board. You are the Hoosier Hawk winner. Connor Bedard's game-winning assist gives you your fourth win of the season. The helmet is here in your traditional spot. We'll keep it there for you. Congratulations, Greg. You're back on the board, buddy.
All right. I'm going to have to win again on Sunday so I could actually wear the helmet.
There you go.
Sure.
You got it. All right, man. Safe journeys. Have a good rest of your night, and thanks for everything.
All right. We'll see you boys Sunday against the Blues.
All right. Let's do it. That is Greg Boysen live from the United Center. Do we want to play Luke Richardson? How long is that, Steven, as we have our production meeting on the air?
6 minutes.
Yeah. You know what? I think it's worth hearing from him. And then we'll get to we'll pay off our.
We'll play Luke.
We'll take a break,
and then we'll get to the non-game news.
Exactly. Let's do that. So here's Luke Richardson. Thanks to Greg Boysen's iPhone.
It's kind of nice to get that one.
Yeah, and I think especially for Arvid, like he's played well for us. I've mentioned a few times, and just not enough goal support for his play this year, and at the right times. And tonight we got it for him, which is great. I'm sure it'll be good for his confidence, and even our whole team for sure. Just we needed this tonight, and I think we really dug down and got it.
How does that happen in the second period? You guys look lifeless for most of it, and all of a sudden, you're playing like your hair's on fire.
Yeah, we had a couple shifts near the end of the first that we could put some pressure on them, but I think the second we realized that we gave them the puck a little bit too much at the blue lines, and I think we really just played simple hockey, put it behind them and skated and put a little desire into the battle, and that's what we asked of them after that second period in Columbus, and then yesterday again. We discussed it and taken it to the next level and the next level, and we got a lot of ways to go still on that, but I think that was the key. It's just playing behind them, playing some simple hockey, and with a little bit of desperation and fire, and they earned everything that they got tonight in that dressing room. So proud of them, but it's not done. It's just one game, but it's at least a positive step that we set after the second period the other night. So I'm glad that we're following through on things. Today was probably one of our most consistent 60 minutes after we got going at the beginning. But I still think that there was a good desire there physically, whether it's body contact or stick battles. In a face-off circle, we weren't great in the first period, but I think we won some key face-offs as the game went along.
Korchinski kind of described it as like emotion, just channeling that in a positive way. Obviously, there has been some emotion the past few weeks as things have been tough. Do you feel like they did kind of channel that tonight?
Yeah, I think they did, and I think the building felt it, and they really appreciated the play, especially in the second period on, and that got more lively, especially in overtime. It was pretty loud, and I think that just energized the team. So, I thought we saw some of our greatest efforts with desperation in the third and also in overtime. I thought we did a good job holding on the puck against a really good, skilled team.
When you open in overtime with Foligno and Dickinson, is that a reward for a great game, or is that strategic?
Both. I think they were so good on both sides of the puck against one of the top centers in the world. Obviously, with Matthews and then Marner on that line, very, very hard to contain defensively for us, and then put 3 goals on the board on top of that. I think it was only natural that we were going to match them up as much as we could against Matthews, especially out there, just with his size. Dickie's a good skater and he's a strong centerman. That was kind of our plan. And then obviously trying to get Connor and Kershey out there against maybe some smaller skilled guys, which is a good matchup for them as well.
What did you think of the 5 fights at once?
I haven't seen that in a while. Yeah, that's. But the crowd seemed to like it, and you know what? I thought our guys responded well. Like, it was kind of Reeves poking at Seth. Smart play by them, but then a real smart play by Foligno going and pushing at Matthews right after. You're going to do it to us, we're going to do it to you. And I think that's a good team concept, and we stayed within the rules, and no one got that extra too. And then I think with some good physicality, I think, and just even after the whistle, our guys playing hard around the crease, they didn't like it, and they took that extra penalty once. We didn't score on the power play, but it takes 2 minutes off of their time with Matthews and Tavares and Nylander on 5-on-5 play. So I think that was a good play by our side, in the third period.
What do you think of Anderson in his first game back?
Yeah, Anderson and Gutman, both of them came up. They did just what they did at the end of last year. They played really responsible, gave us some energy, made the right plays all night, and I think that's key. That they went down there and played huge roles. And I think when they came up, now they're playing on the highest level of confidence, and that's great for us. So it works well for them and us, and to see that happen.
You hope this can get a more positive momentum going for Soderblom, just to have a little confidence, something go right? Yeah, I think so, and I think he's got it after beating Toronto twice this year. That's once is overtime, but that's even more dangerous maybe against a team like that. But I think he's a pretty even-keeled guy. I don't think he's going to let himself get too up and take the foot off. I think he's just a guy that's competitive and wants to win. And he's kind of, he doesn't get down too much when he doesn't get the wins. He just seems to be even keel. So that's a good demeanor for a goaltender. And, we're going to have ups and downs this year. So it's probably going to be helpful to have a guy like that back there that's not going to affect him too much.
Just want to ask one question about the Perry. I know you can't say too much, but it's a tough situation, but are you just keeping it away from the players for now? Not any the players, do the players not know much still?
The same as me. We just don't know right now, and that's all I'm able to, answer on right now.
Okay.
Yeah, you talked about ups and downs. You talked about the mental side. Is today a day where you circle it and you tell them when those downs happen again, hey, this is what we're going for? I
think so, and I think tomorrow's a good chance just to recap what we went through from the Columbus game in between periods to the start of this game and going forward. So I think it's a reminder of the guys that are self-driven to do that every night. I think that's what we need to get to that point. And I think we've been pretty good this year at playing hockey. I think our really only full game egg was the Columbus game. And when that happens, and it happens in 82 games with probably everybody in the league, but we can't let it happen again. We can't afford to. We're in a building process right here. We have to have desire to keep building. We can't have a stumbling block every once in a while. If it happens once, we should really learn from that and just keep bringing that up as a reminder that cannot happen again in our process here.
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you,
That
Luke.
is Luke Richardson, Blackhawks head coach, after the team's 4-3 overtime win over the hated and despicable Toronto Maple Leafs.
And as Windy City Hockey points out, congratulations to Luke on getting a victory in his 100th game coached as Blackhawks head coach.
Yep. Hopefully many more to come. Big fan of that guy. All right, we got to award our 4-star of the game, and we're going to do that right now because it is a blowout. Our guy, Joey Anderson. Whoa. A great performance. 1 assist, +3, 13:41 of ice time. Should have had another assist. I don't know how he didn't get an assist on that goal, but okay,
Yeah.
sure. weird stuff today from the officials and from the scorers. And
cost me the helmet.
They announced a Tyler Bertuzzi goal, and Tyler Bertuzzi was not on the ice when the goal was scored.
Yeah, it was an odd day.
So some weirdness going on. So congrats to Joey Anderson. And look, man, this is what we talked about after the Columbus game. Is it was time to bring some new energy into this locker room. And Cole Gutman, who we haven't mentioned yet, had a pretty solid game himself. And Joey Anderson came in and played really well.
Yeah, showing up, getting the opportunity to come up from Rockford where they've been playing big roles, show up ready to play and play a simple game, and they did that. And I think that's, in the situation that they're in, that's kind of all that you can ask out of them. And without Cory Perry for a TBD amount of time, without Taylor Hall for the rest of the season, with Andreas Athanasiou on IR currently, there's going to be some guys that have some opportunities that maybe they weren't expecting to have. And hopefully, guys like Anderson and Gutman, if they're here for an extended period of time, they continue to take advantage of it, because that's what the Blackhawks need. They don't need guys that are just going to come up and, fill a roster spot and just be passengers. Go out and do something with it.
Yep. All right, let's go to Connor's Corner. Yay, the music makes everybody so happy all the time.
Music.
It just sounds so cute.
Where's the music?
So playful.
There it is. It took me a minute.
All right, Connor Bedard with 1 assist, a game-winning assist, 6 shots on goal, 10 shot attempts. Also credited with 4 takeaways in this game. Solid game for him.
Don't worry about his plus-minus.
Really good in overtime. Yeah, finished a -2. Was on the ice for 3 goals against, all the goals against by Toronto. And, Troy Murray called it out in the second intermission. There was a point where he tried to make a play at the blue line, lost it, turned the puck over. Toronto had an extended shift and scored. He was not able to get back and check his man. So these are the sort of things, even when you look at the end of the game and he's got a point, he's got a bunch of shots and a bunch of offense generated, that 200-foot game still needs to come for him. It's going to, but I think it's only fair to, when he does have those lapses, to point them out. He is not perfect yet. I think he will be someday. But, there were some things that he will take away from this game as learning experiences. So
yep. I mean, he was out there trying to do a lot, sometimes too much. But, I mean, loved to see his effort trying to get the puck on net. Good effort in the overtime period as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's a game that you want to learn from the positives and the negatives and move forward, and hopefully, is rolls over into Sunday's game with a little bit more positive than negative.
Well, if you want to go to Sunday's game and you're tired of paying too much money for tickets on the secondary market, use our friends at Gametime. You should not have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Gametime is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. They've got killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat. Love that. And their best price guarantee. Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. It is a pain in the ass to buy concert tickets when you don't know what exactly the venue is going to look like.
Yeah.
You're like,
I'm just up in the stage.
Yeah, like in the upper bowl there, it's in a corner, but I don't know, I'd be able to see. On Gametime, you'll be able to see the view from that seat, oftentimes with like a photo from the previous night's concert, so you know what the setup's like or whatever. It's great. It's so easy. They've got those last-minute deals, so if you're one of those people that likes to wait to the last minute to make plans, Gametime's the place to get your tickets, because as the game gets closer and closer, or the concert or the show, whatever, the tickets go lower and lower and lower, and that's when you pounce, that's when you score those great last-minute deals. And check out Zone Deals, where you name the section you want to sit in, and Gametime will give you tickets for up to 18% off when you use those Zone Deals. It's awesome. Gametime is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind on your purchase. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
And if you're looking for a great way to get to the concert or sporting event that you just bought tickets for through Gametime, then look no further than our friends at Ray Auto to get you a brand new vehicle. We are on the team, the Ray Auto team, at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fox Lake. And at Ray CDJR, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories and find unforgettable savings. Right now, during their Black Friday sales event at Ray CDJR in Fox Lake, 0% financing is available on select new models all month long, not just today, Black Friday, but all month long. And that's not all. Just for listening, you can get a free oil change when you mention CHGO at the service center or when you mention CHGO when you book online at raycdjr/service. My car is due for an oil change. I have some free time coming up this week. I am scheduling myself that oil change at Ray CDJR. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, because they are the only team that we here at CHGO recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. That's up in my neck of the woods. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963.
All right, so there's been a lot that's happened since the last time we were on the show.
Yes.
First and foremost, we found out that Taylor Hall is out for the year, is getting a surgery on his knee.
It's believed to be ACL.
Yes.
He took the hit that caused the injury, seemingly, on the 9th of this month, missed some time, came back and played 2 games on basically a busted knee.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hockey players, they're wired differently. Credit to Hall for trying to give it a go. But such a string of bad luck with injuries with him this season. And yeah, he's surgery on his knee, season's over.
That's brutal. I feel really bad for him. And I think the reason we saw him try to come back early from injuries twice this year was because he was frustrated with how things have gone for him lately, health-wise. And he's like, damn it, I just give me the chance to get out there and play some effing hockey.
Yeah.
And he did everything he could to do it and just, so he's out for the year. So I think the first question that pops into a lot of people's minds is, do they go out and try to acquire some help? And your guy is sitting right there, Philip Kessel.
If there was ever a time where you could go in, get somebody fresh for nothing but money, and get a guy that could play in a top 6 role on this team, and could, be in that kind of role, be on a short-term deal, be on a flippable deal, be fresh, be a guy that, is people who play with him love him. He's good in the locker room. He's a guy that has on numerous times, as he's been looking for an NHL contract, said, the worry is, if you sign Phil Kessel, you have to keep him in the lineup because of the Iron Man streak. He doesn't care about that anymore. Yeah, he just wants to get off the couch and play hockey in the NHL again. So, I mean, look, as much of a bit as it has been, it really makes sense. The easiest thing you can do is call Phil Kessel and say, you want to play top 6 minutes and maybe go to a contender at the deadline, get to live in Chicago and play some minutes with Connor Bedard in different situations. There's worse ways to go for Phil Kessel and for the Blackhawks to go. So, yes, as much as it's a joke, it also makes sense.
It does make sense. And I'm kind of like, I know this is wishy-washy, and I like to be definitive when I can be definitive, but I'm kind of good either way. If they decide they want to bring in some help for Connor Bedard, be it Phil Kessel, be it via trade, whatever, to get some top 6 talent here, I will enjoy that because it will make the team better and more entertaining and easier to cover, and they'll get more wins.
It fills the hole that is left with Taylor Hall out of the lineup.
Yeah. So if they want to do that, I get it. If they just are saying let's just see what we can do. Let's keep that Reichel, Kurashev, Bedard line together all year and see what we have in those 3 and see how they work together, and just kind of call up your Andersons and call up your Gutmans and see what you have in those guys And then maybe when the college season ends, you see a Nazar get up here and see what he can do. I don't know.
Colton Dock later in the year.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that too.
I'm really, as a hockey observer, I would prefer they're a more entertaining and better team.
Yes.
But from Kyle Davidson's standpoint of this is a rebuild, by all means, if you wanted to stand pat and do what you're doing, I'm fine with that too. I know it's kind of, we're always supposed to have a take, but I see it both ways.
Yeah.
I see it both ways here.
Well, and I think there's no wrong answer between bringing in a free agent on a 1-year deal who could be serviceable to you and to a team trying to make a playoff push later in the year. You're basically purchasing maybe a mid-round pick, and prospect, whatever it is, or you stand pat and you have roster opportunities for your young players, your young up and coming players, without having to physically take guys out of the lineup who maybe are veterans or whatever. So either route is beneficial. I think the one thing the Blackhawks, I would say, will not do is give anything up to bring somebody in to fill the role that Taylor Hall is leaving. I see a lot of people online, some people in our chat saying that they need to go out and get somebody. I don't think they need to go and acquire anybody to do. I don't think that's the right move, and I don't think it's what Kyle Davidson would do, because it really doesn't fit with their future forward-facing plans unless you're getting somebody who a team is trying to get rid of their money, and they make it worth your while. Which, again, a lot of those players that we talked about early on in the season probably aren't available anymore. And I'm talking about like Besser and Garland. Like, they're playing well for the Canucks.
Yeah.
The Canucks kind of need those guys going right now. So,
yeah, I mean, you look at somebody like Patrick Laine. That's a long-term financial commitment, though.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to,
it's got to be somebody who's like on a 1-year deal that a team is trying to dump, and there's just not that many out there.
Yes,
so
and there's a lot of people throwing out like prospect names in the chat. Like, teams are not just throwing away their prospects.
No,
right now.
and the
like,
Blackhawks
Ken
aren't
Johnson
giving up.
And Dylan Holloway,
Blackhawks aren't giving up capital to get those guys specifically. And I think if you're trying to make that kind of deal, you're also giving up something of value. And I don't think, for this specific reason of replacing Taylor Hall and what he was going to mean to this team this year, I don't think the Blackhawks are going to go that way.
Here are your available wingers. So if you just want to sign somebody,
here's who's on the couch.
Young Daigle God's favorite player, Patrick Kane, is out there.
Which, again,
not going to happen.
No.
Patrick Hornquist is almost 37 years old.
Did he not retire?
I'm just looking at Spot Rack.
Okay.
So maybe these are guys you can convince. Because Patrice Bergeron's on this list. He's obviously not available. Josh
retired.
Bailey, former Blackhawk.
He still needs a job.
That was a fun 6 hours.
Interesting.
Jonas Donskoy, 31 years old. Zach Cassian. Jesse
He's retired.
Puljujarvi.
He's hurt.
Carl Hagelin.
Also retired.
Yeah, like there's not much out there. Like, Kessel's the guy. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, there's just not.
Yeah. There's not too many guys out there. So yeah, I mean, if it's a free agent, it's a guy whose initials are PK and he doesn't wear 88.
How was Zach Parise?
Ooh.
39.
No. I mean, he signs a league minimum deal. I don't know. I don't think Zach Parise coming off the couch at 39 is going to play well enough to where you flip him to a team that's looking to make a push.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if they are going to go and do something, it makes the most sense for it to be Kessel. But again, that has to be a two-way street.
Yeah. He's got to want to come here.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Kessel could also just wait until a contender suffers an injury, and he's sitting right there for them too.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of signing. So we'll see. I don't know. It's interesting he's not signed yet. And I do read into that a little bit. I don't know enough about him. I've read all the legends about Phil Kessel and how all his teammates love him. But I do think it's interesting that no one has found room for him on their roster yet.
Yeah.
That gives me a little bit of a red flag.
We'll see what happens.
Now on to Cory Perry.
Yeah.
So my days are all out of whack here because today's Friday and it feels like Saturday.
Tuesday was the practice before Columbus. Perry was there.
Yep.
He was hobnobbing with the kids after
Yes, he
practice. He was on power play 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then Wednesday, things changed.
Wednesday, scratched from the game. It was told to us that it was an organizational decision with no more detail than that.
And we learned that on the postgame show or pregame show.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then, Hawks practice yesterday, Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Richardson's available. Cory Perry's not there at all. Teammates say, we don't know what the story is. We're going to miss him, is one thing we heard from Foligno, I believe.
Yeah.
Luke talks and says, we're not going to give any more information about this.
At this time.
Okay. So today comes. And people are thinking, okay, pregame meeting before the game. Media is going to talk to Luke Richardson. First question, any update on Perry? Quote, he won't be in the lineup today, and I'm unable to give any more information at this time. Next question, is this your decision or something coming from above? Quote, it's just going to be kept internal for now in the organization. Hopefully we'll be able to give some updates soon, but we can't give a timeline on that. Okay. Really good question from somebody in the beat. Is this a situation where there's a path back for him to the team? Again, I just can't comment any further on that today. Next question is, how is he holding up? Again, I'm just not going to go there today or anything else. Today our focus is on the game day. So that's the latest. Obviously nothing in post game. I will say this. Yesterday, after Luke spoke, I texted one of my longest and most trusted sources that is in the hockey side of the Blackhawks. I said, what's going on with Cory Perry? And this person said, when you texted me this, I had to look it up because I had no idea about it. Today at the game, I ran into another member of the Blackhawks organization who also told me, I don't know what's happening. And in typical situations, both of these people are people who I would go to know the answer. So you may have seen my tweet before the game about how it was unsatisfactory the way the Hawks were handling this. Because of that info that I received during the game today that people high up in New York don't even know, I deleted that tweet. That's why, because, and I'm not going to speculate, but this is so different from anything I've ever seen in the realm of sports, in the realm of the Blackhawks, in the realm of hockey, in terms of discussing a player's absence, that I'm not even touching it. I have no idea. I have no idea what we're dealing with here, and I'm not even going to throw up, potential things because they could be so far off. I'm just going to let this play out. And then when we find out what it is, I think then we can look back as to how the Hawks handled this.
If we ever find out.
And evaluate it. But until then, I'm taking my hands off this because there's too much weirdness around this. And for the people I spoke to not have any clue what's going on, that to me is interesting. If I choose my words carefully.
Yeah. And I've had the same kind of thought process as our friend Michael Evans has had here. Elliot Friedman is one of the most connected insiders in the world of hockey. And if he has information that he trusts, he'll go with different things. If he doesn't know, which he said on today's 32 Thoughts podcast, and in the written form of that as well, he has said he has no information and is also not going to go on the speculation train. If he doesn't know, probably nobody knows besides those directly involved. And I wrote about it on ALLCHGO.com about the situation, just how cloudy it is, and the aspect of transparency from this organization. My focus in that is kind of the verbiage of what we're hearing, because calling something an organizational decision, I feel like is different than if you say there's a personal matter going on.
Yes.
With Nikita Zaitsev earlier this month, he missed some time for a personal matter. No questions asked. Fine, understand. Organizational decision could mean a multitude of things. And I guess now with this with the information that you've kind of gathered from talking with who you were able to talk with, maybe it sounds like a scenario in which organizational decision is the best that they could come up with because of the information that they even have as an organization. So it's a very odd situation, and I know that not having a lot of information allows things to get unhinged in different ways.
And it's getting there.
And it is getting there from a lot of different people. But I think if it were those scenarios that people are concocting in their mentions and whatnot, I think that would be a very run-of-the-mill, we know what's happening. There would be some concrete evidence of things in motion. I don't think any of that is part of this. So it's very odd. I hope for the best with whatever's happening.
Yeah.
And
at this point, I just hope that everything's okay with him.
Right.
You know,
Right.
be it from a health standpoint or whatever other angle you want to look at it.
Yeah.
From,
because it seems it doesn't seem like it was anything on ice related. He was the third leading scorer on the team.
Yeah. First power play unit when practice ended.
Playing very effective. First power play unit with the kids out there. It's just very odd. So I hope whatever is going on, there is a positive resolution to it in some way, shape, or form. I think the best scenario is that things work out to where Perry is okay. He's able to come back to the team and play hockey. I mean, this is a guy who, Luke Richardson said just a couple of days ago, you're gonna have to kick out of the league,
yeah, really,
to get him to retire because his drive and competitiveness is at the top when it comes to NHL players. So it's an odd situation.
Yeah. So,
and if we have information about it, we will.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
We will divulge it the way we can.
We were talking about this in the game, and when I heard organizational decision, that my sense was they're upset about something, right? Like I'm not speculating. It sounded like it was a punishment of some kind,
like we had talked about after the Nashville game, and we talked about this in the pregame show too, before the Columbus game. If after the Nashville game you need to scratch somebody to send a message, it would have made some sense for it to have been Perry, for it to have been called an organizational decision, and for it to have gone like Richardson goes to him and says, "Hey, we're trying to do something here," like you had alluded to. We're trying to get a message across. You'll be back in the lineup. It's not anything you're doing. It's just what it represents.
And just so to be clear, for those that missed that, I was saying it's something they could think about doing, and this is well before any of this happened.
Was a long time
This is
ago.
just like
so many hours ago.
Yeah, it's unrelated. But I just said like, hey, way to send a message is to scratch a veteran, and Cory Perry would get it and play along. Is kind of what
that
I was
was
saying.
Before the Buffalo game.
Yes,
and then this all happened before the Columbus game.
Right.
So I mean, if that was the situation, I think there would be. I think he would have been at practice on Thursday, and I think there just would be more information available. And at this point, there's just no information available other than he's not around.
Yeah, and the media is going to keep asking about it because that's their job. And there's got to be follow-up questions, and there has to be.
Yeah.
And they might just keep saying like, we're not going to talk about it. The media has to do their job and ask. It's,
right.
That's part of the gig, and it's uncomfortable for everybody. I'm sure that press conference this morning that you and Greg were there for was awkward and uncomfortable and weird.
Yeah, I mean, it was as Richardson said at the end of the line of questions about Cory Perry's absence, he said our focus is on the game. The press conference ended 40 seconds later.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I mean, the thing that people were, wanted to try and get some clarity, get some answers on was the Cory Perry situation. So I mean, it's an odd situation, and it's a give and take between the media side and the organization side. They are doing their best job to give information as much as they can, but they also have to protect their player in whatever situation is happening. And as members of the media have to try and be as informed as possible. So it comes with a push and a pull.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of people too say like maybe there's a trade on the horizon. This doesn't feel like that. I don't know which team is.
It doesn't feel like that, and it also
mid-November calling about Cory Perry at $4 million.
I don't. Yeah, that aspect of it already doesn't make sense, and then the way this has kind of been developing does not feel like how a trade develops. I don't know. If it was like holding up for Thanksgiving, it'd be done by now. Right. I don't know. It's an odd situation.
It's very strange.
And I don't think going any further down any roads until there's more information available is a worthwhile time.
Yeah.
So I hope for the best for him and for the team and for his teammates who, I mean, you hear it from Bedard and Foligno after yesterday's practice. What from talking with the players throughout the season, what having Cory Perry around has meant as a veteran and a leader and a teammate. So those guys miss him. So I don't know. I hope everything resolves in a positive way, but we'll just kind of see how things develop.
Yeah. Good comment here from Tanvers says, I feel as if some insider would have picked it up if a trade was in the works. Yeah, right. Because maybe if the Hawks are keeping it quiet, there's two sides of the story. Mm-hmm. Like there's always going to be someone who says something to somebody. Right. And one of the people I talked to would know about that if that was the case, and Elliot Friedman would know about that if that was the case. Like there are situations where talking in the media makes deals fall apart. The Hawks dodged a bullet years ago when they almost traded for Nail Yakupov, and the Blues got mad that the story came out and they pulled the trade.
Right.
And that happens time and time again, and we saw with Dubas and
Kyle Dubas, Kyle Davidson little tiff about that.
Exactly. So it does happen, and people are mentioning the Mrazek thing too, where Mrazek wasn't at practice yesterday. He was the backup today, but I think Mrazek being out really fueled the transaction thought. Mm-hmm. Because there's a couple teams out there that desperately need a goalie, including the Oilers.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people's radars went up there. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Maybe that could be a totally unrelated. I would imagine.
I think that's
totally unrelated.
Yeah, I think that just coincidentally is running parallel with this situation with Perry.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're back Sunday, hopefully with a little more clarity on all things, and hopefully with another solid effort. We're going to wrap up some super chats here. So stay tuned, but first we want to tell you about our buddy, always worthwhile, Charlie the Bacon Guy. He's based in Woodridge, and he makes craft bacon and craft bacon jams in over 30 different flavors for you. They're all naturally cured. They are free of fancy preservatives and crap ingredients that you do not want. They are all natural, vacuum sealed, and they freeze great. Bacon last in the package up to 45 days in the fridge and 6 months in the freezer. Bacon jam lasts about 60 days in the fridge and 6 months in the freezer as well. Here are some of the flavors of bacon: maple pepper, Nashville hot, Old Bay, Cajun, six pepper, rosemary, and Malort for some reason. The bacon jam flavors are the original, which is a maple, a bourbon, and a spicy. Goes great on anything. That bacon jam. Scrambled eggs, toast, crackers, burgers, you name it. Slather some bacon jam on it, and you are good to go. Check out his brand new website at charliethebaconguy.com. You can find all your bacon needs there. He'll deliver to you, meet you halfway, or even ship it. And on charliethebaconguy.com, you can see the past flavors he's made. And if you order enough, he'll make you a special batch just for you. He makes the bacon so you can bring it home. Check it out, charliethebaconguy.com.
And you'll notice today is Black Friday.
'Tis.
And if you are looking for some of the best Black Friday deals ever in the history of Black Friday deals, look no further than right here at CHGO. Our Black Friday sale is live. It runs today through Cyber Monday. You can get merch up to 90% off. Hats are available. T-shirts are available. Other team gear is up to at least 20% off. CHGO gear up to 33% off. Hats and hoodies, $10 off. Spend $75 and get yourself a $15 gift card. There's tons out there, and some new merch just dropped.
Yeah.
We got some new Bears gear, some new CHGO gear, and to enjoy your favorite beverages.
Yeah, those pint glasses.
You got some pint glasses out there that are Bears and Bulls and Blackhawks, and I think there are Cubs and Sox designs as well. All the pint glasses that you could ever ask for, we have them now available at allchgo.com. They become a perfect gift for the holiday season, so take advantage of our amazing Black Friday sale. Some restrictions apply, but, I mean, you are going to get yourself decked out in some awesome CHGO gear. And between you and me, if you are a diehard, your 20% off merch as a diehard also applies to the Black Friday sale. So that is an extra little bit of percentage off when you are a diehard. So, hey, become a diehard while you're at it. And enjoy all the amazing perks of being a diehard.
And by the way, also a heads up, if you've been sleeping on our 81 legendary design for our favorite Slovakian winger that had his number retired last year.
And was a guest on this show.
That shirt is $2.99 right now.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you just want to use it to wash your car.
It's basically free.
You're not going to find a better deal than that. So jump on it. Take advantage of that sale, chgolocker.com. All right, let's rifle through the super chats, and we'll wrap things up.
We're still alive, right, Steven?
The super chats are gone.
Oh, they're gone. Well,
can you scroll back and find
I could do it that way, yeah.
Yeah, something weird happened where
if you're still with us,
shut down.
Wonderful.
Bark twice if you're in Milwaukee.
Let me see if I can find this.
Don't worry about it. I was a bunch of regulars, I think, right, that gave us super chats.
Yeah, we had
Young Dangle God sent one.
Yeah, Young Dangle God chipped in his $1 for mentioning Patrick King.
Yes, he did.
Appreciate that. I'm going through the YouTubes. I don't know. Technology.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Sorry, everybody. We appreciate your super chats either way.
Appreciate it. Love
if you want a refund, just email Steven. He'll take care of it. He'll Venmo you personally. But hey, man, technology happens. That's like the first time we've really had any major.
Yeah, I've never seen it shut down mid-show before.
Yeah.
Did we go? I clicked it back on. It said, "Do you want to resume?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely."
Did we go too long?
I guess so.
We had things to talk about.
We did. There was a lot to talk about. All right. Well, we're done then until Sunday. Another matinee start. So what we were on about 4:00 today, a little before. So look for us same time on Sunday after Hawks and Blues. That would be a fun one to win. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Smash that like button on your way out for us, and we'll talk to you Sunday on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.